Okay, so here is a brief rundown of the Wolf school photo processing software. This will cover essentially the photo processing portion of it. So at this point, what we are assuming has happened is the picture has been taken at the station and has been assigned the proper packages and assigned to the proper student. Um, so, this essentially represents a picture that's been taken, um, and what you're seeing here is the picture is sent from the database once it's assigned as the primary image to the monitored folder, um, and then from there, as far as uh, you know, green screen knockout and the placement of the proper backdrop, and the laying out of the print sheets, it's all done automatically based upon the keywords assigned to it. Um, when when the student comes to the table to view their picture, we are at that time able to assign it the proper look code or backdrop, and then the proper package. And as we assign those, it embeds it within the photo, um, along with the student's information, so that when it runs through this automated portion that you're seeing now, then the software knows exactly what to do with it. Um, and a great part about the student's information being embedded in the picture, it's fairly revolutionary because there's with every school photography company and with every software we had ever used, there was a problem with losing pictures because the only thing that you had to know who it was if the name of that image happened to be associated with a student on the database. And unfortunately, that's, sometimes gets thrown off and isn't always correct. But in this case, in the picture itself, the student's information will be contained. Um, so, so quickly showed you there, as it was running in the background, the process that takes place after we take the picture and a primary image is selected. So everything that's processed goes into here. So it's separated into the originals. So these are the untouched files, and you'll see right here that um, the image name, this is not the original camera name, this is the ticket code. So every student will have a unique ticket code, and then their picture is renamed with that ticket code, and just another identifier to make sure that we don't ever lose the picture. So these are originals there. And then in this process folder is where um, everything else is done, and I'll actually go back to that in a minute because what we want to do here, and so that part that you saw is all done at the school. It's done automatically, immediately following the taking of the picture. So from the time that they step into um, the in front of the camera until the time that their picture is essentially processed and ready to print is probably going to be 5 minutes or less, and that includes their time spent at the table with the customer service representative. Um, so what we do here is go to this folder which contains all of them, and so this will be the entire school. Right now we just have 9 sample images, but this will be upwards of 500 students. Um, and so as we import into this portion of the program, it's actually sorting the pictures again based upon keywords. So when those packages and the sheets that they ordered were assigned, the image was keyworded so that we know exactly what pictures they need, exactly what they wanted to have printed. And there's also more that this does. If you go here, this yearbook size, that's a great feature because this is going to be what's going to go into the yearbook. This is going to be what goes on the class composite. This is going to be what goes into any of the image discs that the school requires. And again, that's done automatically. We also have a step that saves this. This is their primary image, and to the average person, you may not know what this is, but this is actually, if you were to open this in Photoshop, you would see an empty backdrop. the backdrop, the green screen is gone. It's basically just transparent, and you can put any other backdrop you want behind it. So that's already there, ready to go. So if they were to, the parent were to call and choose another backdrop, this is already in place to assign it another backdrop and easily print a package. So again, this all happens at the school for each student. About 5 minutes again from the time they step in front of the camera to the time that you um, that you see all of this for each student. So um, the so the files and everything would be brought back um, to our lab where we would print, and it would be like you just saw loaded in here into Lightroom just like this. And then from there, it's basically all ready to queue and print. So we're going to come down to our collections here. So 4 of the students had 3x5 prints. So as you can see here, it automatically gives it the year, the watermark says Capture Studio, and then down at the bottom here is what we call the gutter, which is something that the printer puts on for us to identify who this picture is and which package it goes with after it's printed. So that's all automatically done. So we would just select all like I've done here, come over here, and obviously this, I'm not hooked up to a printer at this point, but it would be all hooked up to the printer already. We just click print and it's going to start printing those. It's going to queue them up to print. Move on to the next one. That's all assigned, ready to go. You see the gutter right there. I'm going to select all. And then same thing again. I'm just going to click print and it's going to start printing. And so one at a time, same thing, I'm going to be going through these. Watermarks assigned, the identifier or the gutter is right there. I'm going to select all and print. And so we go through each size, each orientation, selecting all and printing. And so obviously they're not going to print as fast as we can select all and print, but what will happen is they'll all be put into the queue. So the idea behind this is that let's just say, for example, a school is finished at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, packing up and everything. You're back to the office by 3. You download the files to the necessary servers, and then load them into Lightroom and begin queuing them up to print. So at worst, if you're finishing a school at 2 o'clock, you could literally have all of this queued up and ready to print at 5, and you could step away and your printer's just printing. And so theoretically, this is, if you wanted to, you could have a 2-day turnaround time to where you're delivering packages, which has never really been done ever in the school photography industry. So anyway, so that's a quick overview of how that works. And if we come back here, actually, there's some that don't go into Lightroom. Right here is all 9 of our test subjects that are actually web sized, and the background's knocked out, ready to go up onto a web gallery for parents to view. They can pick the backdrops and see what the picture looks like with different backdrops. And then right here we save an uncropped copy with the backdrop that was selected by the student for their package. We save one of those. And then here's another great feature. So again, it's all in this folder. So the idea is once we get back to the studio, this is transferred onto a server. And this folder is renamed with the date and the school and the season, fall or spring. And so what happens is, let's say that this particular student here is missing a sheet, or they want to order an additional sheet. In the past, this was a painstaking process of putting it into some kind of issue or ticket reporting system, and then it would have to get to the lab, and then they'd have to pull the picture, and they'd have to put the backdrop in and crop it to size. Um, and then they would have to print it. And I mean, this was, we were lucky if we got the additional order to the parent within, um, 2 weeks time. So to really actually understand the effect of this, um, I'm gonna clear out Lightroom here so you can kind of see just how effective this portion of it is here. Okay, so again, so let's say that student's parent calls and really likes the package, wants to order an additional sheet. And again, I just went through what the steps would have had to have been in the past. Well, all I do is just, I would go to her database and I would type in her ticket code. And it's going to pull up all of her pictures because the picture is named with her ticket code. So let's just say she wants to order an additional sheet of 1 5x7 and 4 wallets. And this is one that maybe she didn't have in the initial package, but as part of the software, it actually creates a sheet for everything that we offer. Even if they don't order it, it still creates it for this purpose right here. So she calls, we take the order, take the payment, great. We get off the phone, come over, type in the ticket code, search, here it is right here, I can grab it. Go ahead and pull it right here into Lightroom, and print, and there it is right there, ready to go. So again, and then I can just click print, and a minute later her print's going to be printed out. I can package it and ship it and have it ready to go out within 20 minutes, so, and there's actually, I mean, this is already fairly in depth as it is and everything that it does, and there's more to it to add, that we've seen we can make work, including mosaic templates, composite templates that will just automatically compile them as part of this system. So literally, the printing side of it alone, to the point where we're queuing up the entire school ready to print, would have normally taken a week just to get to the printing point. And we're talking about, again, we can reach that point with this within 2 hours after finishing the school. Composites and mosaics, I mean, who knows on those? A month, 2 months maybe after, theoretically, if we wanted to, and if we needed to, 2 to 3 days after the school is finished, we could deliver prints, composites, and mosaics, CDs, everything. Again, all because this is done automatically. With our previous lab, just the green screen knockout alone, was a 3-day process that was farmed out to another company. And then, that's just one tiny portion of it that's done in 2 seconds. And then again, as shown, this part where it saves every step from the yearbook image to the primary image, the web-sized image, the original image, the image with the new backdrop, and then every sheet that we sell. It's going to save time not only up front, but later on with customer service issues with additional orders. So anyway, that's a brief rundown of the photo processing side of it. And again, there's more parts to come, and we'll continue working on it.